Arsenal are now strongly being linked with Tottenham's number one transfer target, Eze. And if this happens, if Eze joins Arsenal, I will be furious. Absolutely furious. He ticks every single box that Tottenham need this transfer window. We're also going to be talking about Ugarte. There's a lot of reports coming out that Manchester United would like to sign him. And also talking about Calafiori because Arsenal, Tottenham, Manchester United, Chelsea, Bayern Munich are all linked with him. But we're going to start with Eze. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you go down, drop a like. It does absolute wonders to the channel and lets me know you're enjoying the content as well as subscribe to the channel. The road to 10K is well and truly on. Now, Eze. Tottenham have been linked to this guy for the longest time. The longest time we've been linked to this guy. He is everything we need in terms of the creativity. He can play out wide. He has all the credentials to take Tottenham back into the Champions League, in my opinion. And I personally believe that, according to all the reports, he is Tottenham's number one transfer target. Fabrizio Romano said on playback yesterday that Tottenham really appreciate Eze, but the problem is that release clause. And it says the release clause is around £60 million with £8 million in add-ons. And now Arsenal are being linked. Now, Arsenal, I've said this for a number of weeks, maybe months now, that I personally believe that Arsenal do not need a striker. What they need is an out-and-out defensive midfielder because Declan Rice is going to play in that advanced 8 role. They need a wide player, in my opinion, someone that can add real competition to Bukayo Saka. Because as I've said many times, and I'll say it again, you look on that left-hand side, you've got Martinelli and Leandro Trossard. You look at the striker role, you've got Kai Havertz, you've got Jesus. You can play there. Trossard's played there. Martinelli's played there. Then you look on that right-hand side, and then you've got Bukayo Saka. And then the drop-off to Reece Nelson is significant. Now, you look at Eze overall, had a very, very strong end to the season under Crystal Palace. Oliver Glasner really did get the best out of him. Of course, he's homegrown. He's at the Euros currently with England. He's a London boy. His last contract extension with Crystal Palace was on the 10th of November, and that current deal expires June 30th, 2027. He's been at various different academies. He joined Palace from QPR for about 9 million. He can play on the left-hand side. He can play on the right-hand side. He can play in the 10, and he can play in the 8 role. Now, in a lot of games Arsenal play, most teams sit back and just, go into a low block immediately because of how dangerous Arsenal's attack is, with the likes of Saka and Odegaard and Havertz. And Crystal Palace last year, Eze and Elise were the two driving forces alongside Philippe Mateta, and that great defensive Guéhi and Anderson. And Guéhi during the Euros has been magnificent. But Eze and Elise are the two shining lights in that Crystal Palace side. 27 games in the league last season, 11 goals, 4 assists, 15 GA in 27 games. He also got 2 assists in the League Cup, which rightly deserved. He's called up to England. Now, he's part of the CAA-based limited agency, which is what a lot of the Tottenham players are under. The likes of Ange Postecoglou, Heung-min Son, Pedro Porro, Christian Romero, James Maddison. So Tottenham will probably think that they are the priority in terms of Eze's agent. He'll probably think that Tottenham will be the priority because it's the easiest deal to do. However, Tottenham cannot afford to sit around on this deal because Arsenal, when they want a player, they do not mess around. They wanted Declan Rice. They put the money on the table. They fended off Manchester City. They wanted Kai Havertz. They put the money on the table to Chelsea. There's your £65 million. They wanted Timber from Ajax. They put the 40-odd million on the table. They wanted Rafa Raya, to beat Tottenham to the Brentford goalkeeper. They get the signing done. Now, Eze, I think could play in the 8 role and put Declan Rice in the number 6 some games. I think he can add real competition out wide because he can play on that left-hand side. I probably think he can play on the right as well. But his main position is, last season he played 17 games as the 10, 8 games on the left wing, and 1 game on the right wing. He's only had 21 minutes in the Euros, which is against Denmark, and he's been on the bench against Slovenia and Serbia. Overall, though, I think he could be a real threat off that right hand side if, for instance, Bukayo Saka was to ever get injured. Now, does he choose Tottenham over Arsenal? In my opinion, if Arsenal come in, he probably chooses them because they are in a title race. They've been in the title race the last 2 years. They can offer Champions League football. I thought maybe a few weeks ago that Tottenham could probably offer more game time, but then I think because of how versatile the likes of Eze is, he could play in a number of different roles in an Arsenal team. He could play, like I said, in that 8, in that 10 if Odegaard gets. I think you could have a system potentially where some games Odegaard's the 8, Eze is the 10, and Rice is the 6, and then other games where Rice is the 8, Odegaard's the 10, and then potentially if Bukayo Saka is rotated, you put Eze on that right hand side, and that's when you bring in an Edison or a Zubimendi. Now, if he joins Arsenal, I will be absolutely furious. Like, I will be 10 out of 10 furious. I've said this on the terrace. I've said this on numerous group chats. I've said this on different channels. I will be annoyed. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. The release clause is £60 million, 8 million in add-ons. Both Tottenham and Arsenal realistically can easily afford that. He's not prepared to move until after the Euros. England do have Slovakia in the last 16 on Sunday and a relatively easy route to the final when you look at the fact that we don't have to play Spain, Portugal, Germany, or France. The biggest team on our side in terms of actual footballing nations is Italy, but Austria are a very good footballing side as well. So the likelihood is the Eze news, the actual concrete links probably won't come out until about another 2 or 3 weeks, until after the Euros is finished. But as it stands right now, Arsenal are very much so in the hunt. I do want to stay with Arsenal because Calafiori, also another player who's having a fantastic Euros. Genuinely, for me, he goes in the team of the tournament. I think he's had something like 22 ball recoveries already. 22 years of age, he just turned 22. Italian fullback, yet he can play left back, centre back, left midfield. He probably could even play right-sided centre-back as well. He's obviously left-footed at Bologna. Contract there expires June 30th, 2027. He's one of the most sought-after left-backs in world football right now. Bayern Munich, Tottenham, Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City. Every single club, is looking at this player. 40 games last season, 30 in Serie A, 2 goals, 5 assists, 3 in the Italian Cup, 1 in the Conference League qualifiers, 3 in the Italian League Cup, and obviously played 3 games in the Euros. Joined from FC Basel to Bologna for 4.5 million euros back in 2023. Was instrumental to Bologna's getting back into Europe season under Thiago Motta. And now Thiago Motta is the new manager of Juventus, and that's why he's trying everything he can to get the Italian fullback over there. Right now, I honestly think he's one of the best fullbacks of this tournament. He looks electric. Genuinely, he looks a very, very, very good player. I know Italy overall didn't have the best of tournaments. They finished second. That they drew, lost a game and won a game. Spain absolutely bossed that group. Didn't concede a goal. Scored 5. Spain look the favourites for me. They look very, 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 very good. Now, one thing I will say is that Italian players, most of the time, the best Italian players, I know there's a few that have got out, like, the Zolas and the Paolo Di Canios, but the best Italian players tend to stay in their native country. You look at, Totti, Daniele De Rossi, Andrea Pirlo, Maldini, Baresi, Nesta. The list goes on and on and on of Gianluigi Buffon, of top Italian players. And it's not because Arsenal, Manchester City, maybe Arsenal and Manchester City are a bit different as well as Liverpool, but I don't think he joins Bayern. I don't think he joins Tottenham. I don't think he joins Manchester United. The only two teams I think realistic could sign him are Arsenal and Manchester City. But you'd have to break the bank, in this market right now, according to Transfer Market, he's valued at 30 million euros. He probably would go for around the 50, 60 million pound mark. And when I've spoken about versatility before, when it comes to Mikel Arteta and Guardiola's system, the fact that he is so versatile and can play a number of roles just makes him that perfect signing for either Mikel Arteta or Pep Guardiola. Not only that, he's got age on his side. He could quite easily win a number of trophies. He won the Conference League with Roma back in 2021. I don't think he played too many games that season for Roma. I think he played 18 in all comps. But, he's been at Bologna, he's been at Basel, he's been at Roma. He's got Europa League experience. He's got Conference League experience. He's got, a lot of experience in Serie A. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with regards to that. But as it stands right now, I don't necessarily think he will leave Italy. I think if Juventus, that move looks to me, as it stands right now, a solid option for him. Now, a player that's being linked with Manchester United is Manuel Ugarte, Uruguayan international, obviously at PSG. Got his move to PSG, I think, was it 2 years ago, maybe a year ago from Sporting. Obviously an out-and-out DM. Can play centre mid as well, but his best position for me is a DM. Heavily linked with Manchester United at the moment. Contract expires there 30th of June 2028. I think he joined July last year. And now he's already being linked to a move away. And you look at PSG, now they've lost Kylian Mbappe. Are they going to, Victor Osimhen and Cravadonna are both being linked to moves to PSG. Are they going for a rebuild now? They've got no more, no offense to PSG, but they've got no real superstars. They've got a Kolo Muani, and they've got, a few, Ousmane Dembele. They've got some good players, but overall, they haven't really got a superstar in that team anymore. Do they potentially break the bank for a couple of the Napoli players? I don't know. Manchester United are linked with Ugarte. He's valued, according to transfermarket.co.uk, at 45 million euros. I think around the 50 million pound mark probably makes the most sense. He played 25 times in the league last year for PSG, 8 in the Champions League, 4 in the Coupe de France, and he didn't make an appearance in the Trophy des Champions. So has the move he joined for, I think it was 50 million euro, and then the fee rose to around 60 million euros when he joined PSG. Of course, he's in the Copa America at the moment. He's played one time with the national side, Uruguay. I do think with the way Man United play, it looks like Casemiro, he's going to leave this window. You've also got the likes of Amrabat. We don't know if he's going to get made a permanent signing. As it stands right now, I probably would think that Man United would be a safe bet for the likes of Manchester United. I think he's going to be if it does happen, I think he's going to be a top player for them. He's great at breaking up the play. He could play a number of roles as well. He could probably play that 8 role as well. And you just want someone to sit back and kind of protect that back four. Man United are going for a transitional period themselves. They've got new hierarchy. Eric Ten Hag's staying. He's probably going to sign the new contract. Apparently, the contract is on the table. And you look at the future of Manchester United is about getting, the right players in, clearing out some of this deadwood wrap. Champions League, Varane leaving. It looks like Lindelof's getting a move away as well. Who's going to be that new centre-back coming in? It looks like Jared Brandthwaite from Everton. You put Ugarte just in front. They're linked with Eze as well. Could they potentially get him over the line? I do think the future of Manchester United looks bright. I said the other day on the terrace that I do think, as it stands right now, they're more of an attractive club than a Chelsea at the moment. But Will Ugarte join? I think it'd be a good signing. Let me know down below if you haven't already. Make sure you smash a like on the video. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching. I am